What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic night. It is a little after 9 here, almost 9:30. It has been one hell of a long day for me, but I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here. As you guys know, throughout the weekdays, some of these videos have to be a little bit later because, well, I just don't get home from work until later. So appreciate you bearing with me. We're getting pumped up, though. We are 23 days away from week 1, Eagles versus Packers, and I cannot wait. So getting pumped up. Tomorrow, we got a little preseason action, though. So, some people not fired up about that. They don't like their off-season ball, but I know you sickos are excited to talk about everything, learn who some of these depth pieces are, who wants to win these depth jobs, who wants to win some of these starting jobs. So we're here tonight. We're going to talk about 40 players to watch, 20 on offense and defense. We're going to look at the updated depth chart, talk about some of these injuries, some other things, but I appreciate you all taking the time. We are live here tonight, so any kind of questions, comments that you have, love to hear from you, and appreciate you guys hitting the like button, sharing this stuff, subscribing, all the stuff you do to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough, and I can tell football season's getting close. I get off work, I see all kinds of people just, dude, I get nothing but insane comments, and it's so funny, and I'm appreciative when I see you sickos in there chiming in and let me know we got some diehards still left out here in this fan base, but see people wilding out. I don't know, the media sprinkled in something, and people are losing their minds about, we need wide receivers and defensive, linemen and all this wild stuff, but hey, man, that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to break it all down, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, whatever you guys have going on in your mind. Let's get it rocking and rolling here. Tate, my man, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great day, my friend. I'm running on fumes here. I'm not going to lie to you. But I wanted to put this show out. Tomorrow, we've got ourselves a preseason game. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get ready for it. And as soon as I get off work tomorrow, we're going to have ourselves a little pregame show, getting ready for this. So I'm pumped up, ready to rock and roll. And appreciate you tuning in any days. 2 days in a row. Big shout out to you, mother. I appreciate you. Little G, let's go Birds. And congrats again. Hope you're doing well. And I want to jump right into this with obviously some good news in case you missed it yesterday. But Cooper DeJean was back, activated off of the NFI list. Now, he was a limited participant. He's probably not going to play tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. He would be on my list. But he said he's hopeful to play in that third game. I don't want to rush anything. Think this kid has the time to develop, so let's develop him. But great news to have him back, and I'm excited. You guys know how much I like this kid before the draft, so getting him here, huge excitement for me. But hey, injuries happen. Luckily, it wasn't anything serious. We're going to be precautious, hopefully, here, so we'll see. My man, let's go. Daniel, appreciate you taking the time, my friend, and this offense is going to be awesome. But we talk about tight end, offensive line, some concerns there, so we'll break that all down. But I think people miss the fact that you had Saquon Barkley, you still have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and, of course, looking at Dallas Goedert at tight end, I'm talking about behind Dallas Goedert, right, when I say we need some help. And the offensive line, the question is at right guard in depth. So still very excited. I still think it's going to be a top 3 offense. And, of course, MVP incoming for Jalen Hurts. So I think this is going to be a wild, wild season. And this defense, I've still seen people not understanding. Just a little bit ago, I saw, we're switching, to odd front defense for the first time. How are people going to switch? How's Josh Sweat going to play? And this is going to be the 4th year that we're running a multiple scheme defense. So he's not switching any positions. But, hey, man, I understand the negativity comes from a lot of, misinformation, a lot of just, not gaining any knowledge here from a lot of stuff they're reading. And I understand, man. It's a wild time. Football's coming back. You can always see the negative Nancy's out there, and let them get nothing's going to break my stride, bro. Someone was trying to argue, and they were telling me about this defensive line. I had this picture, and what is going on, Tiffany? Appreciate you tuning in. Go Birds. See, I love hearing from you guys. This is what gets me excited about coming home from work and putting this together. Still doing my best. Obviously, a little fresh out the shower, still nice and greased up here, wet. I'm not greased up. I'm from the shower, but, dude, it was a long day, so I had to do that first. But always come here. I want you guys to feel the same. I hope that you feel like you're part of the family here. But I made a graphic last night, got to post it on my break today, but people were riled up, pissed off about it, but that's okay. We talked about, the media has been pushing this narrative that the Eagles don't have any kind of defensive linemen. We need help desperately, interior D-line, desperately at the edge. And I don't know, man. I just couldn't disagree with that more. I think I might be a little more excited than most, and that's okay. That's usually the case. Let's remember Jalen Hurts and Howie Roseman and things like that, where I don't really care if the media doesn't think that, this team is going to do special things because, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Milton Williams, I keep talking about. I keep seeing people, what are we going to do? Fletcher Cox. And someone was telling me we're screwed because Cox is gone. And, and Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, how are we going to get sacks without them? And I just don't. I don't understand that thinking. But then it was, Reddick's gone. And I mean, this is why we talked about this last year. Reddick was going to be gone, and people just added or never. I mean, they have to understand why we drafted Nolan Smith, why we had Bryce Huff as the number one free agent, and then the Eagles did sign him. Because you have to understand how these things work. And we talked about we're going to draft someone. We get Jalix on, and you guys remember we talked about the draft. He was one of my pre-draft fits for the Eagles. So, yeah, this guy's going to fit in just well. So, sweating out for your starters. You've got Smith, Graham, and Hunt as your depth pieces on the edge. So for me, look, I'd love to have an all-pro at every position. I wish this was, Madden. I was a kid again, and I could just, create these teams. But there's a process, man. And look, we actually do have a lot of cap space. So we talked about it. If there's a position you feel you need to add to, you can do that. And we put an emphasis on the defensive line. So, I mean, you guys have heard me all offseason. If you want to add somebody, I'm perfectly fine. You want to get a Calais Campbell for a depth piece. You want a veteran. You don't feel comfortable with these young guys. Maybe there's an edge guy you want to add to the rotation if you don't feel comfortable. But I think they're going to feel just fine with Nolan Smith, BG, Hunt, and even Patrick Johnson as your depth pieces, at edge. Now, maybe you don't feel that way about Huff, or you think, and I thought he's somebody that I know a lot of people are sleeping on, but he was my number one fit for a reason. And I understand their concerns about the run and, him playing a full load. He was great without, being a starter. He had 10 plus sacks and was one of the highest graded guys, and that's not good, I guess. But to me, it is. And I think that having a starter role is going to be great for him. And I think that, God forbid something were to happen or it doesn't pan out, well, then that's when you look to make a move. I don't think in the offseason your focus is on the defensive line right now. I think safety should be your immediate concern. And, Cooper DeJean coming back, I think they want to focus a little on corner. I think he can help us at safety eventually if need be. I don't want to mess these guys up, though, and throw them in the fire. So, for me, I think maybe I'm more excited about this defense than most. And that's okay. It's like with Gannon's defense. We all remember everybody, it's going to be the worst year ever. We suck, and we're breaking NFL records, number one against the pass and everything, turnovers. And I enjoyed, the Eagles being good. So I want to do that. I want to get back to that. So I know you sickers are with me. A whole bunch of media that don't know. Yeah, that's a fact. And a lot of people are upset about stuff that they just don't understand. And that's okay. If you're worried about, Linval Joseph helping us get sacks, there's nothing to argue about there. Because I'm just going to need people like that to get a little basic understanding before they start throwing out the insults and losing their minds. It's like, all right, dog, I understand you have no idea what you're talking about, but no reason to get upset. And I'm not here to argue with people that have not even a basic understanding of things. No, but I'm guessing you saw mine. And at lunch today, I did, of course, finally remember after you've been telling me for days. So, hey-oh, let's go. My man Doyle, appreciate you tuning in. And, yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a second. And I've seen the media talk about wide receiver 3, and we've talked about it here on the show. So we're going to touch up on it. The reporters talk about how we dominated that team. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. So very excited there. And Vic's going to be fun to watch what he does with these pieces. And that was something I tried to explain to that person earlier, that we're not Matt Patricia and Sean Desai defense here. We're going to get back to how we were supposed to be. And Desai, I thought, he was really a scapegoat. I thought they had some good ideas. We did pretty good against some pretty damn good quarterbacks and offenses, but I digress. So anyways, let's talk about the fact that Vic Fangio is the godfather of everything we've been talking about the last few years and what we can't wait to see. So go check that video out if you have not seen it, about Vic Fangio and the Eagles defense with all these new pieces we got in free agency and the draft. I'm very, very excited about this team. So let me show you my top 40. We'll talk 20 on offense here quick. And, last week we talked about some of these guys to watch before the game. And, this week I added some pieces, a lot of same pieces. Pickett and McKee. Pickett last week, I thought Dinkin and Duncan, not really impressive. McKee, I thought with better weapons, maybe he gets some second-team reps here. I thought he would have done a lot better. Will Shipley, we talked about, couldn't wait to see him shine. He did just that. We talked about Lou Nichols getting an opportunity to show what he's got, and I thought he did just that. Ty Davis, Price, Kendall Milton also came in and did well. Would like to see this team continue to run those backs, get a better feel for, do we need a fourth guy? Who are we going to be able to stash on the practice squad? Because these guys could definitely get picked off if they keep doing very well and don't make this squad. So Johnny Wilson, Anais Smith, Paris Campbell, Covey. Look, Campbell's been banged up. I'm not sure if he's going to play, but he was limited. I'm hopeful he gets out there and shows that, we don't need to add a wide receiver 3, because we talked about Wilson and Smith as fits for the Eagles before the draft. Now, what do we say about both of them? I hope they don't have to be thrown into the fire, but at this point, you don't have much else. Now, Covey has looked to improve there as a receiver, but what I talked about is the fact that wouldn't it be nice to have someone like a Johnny Wilson as your starter who allows these receivers, to be interchangeable, because you need guys who can play inside and out, not your Smith, Campbell, Covey, who, are going to be your slot guys, and that doesn't really allow Smith and Brown to, play in the slot and be interchangeable. But again, that doesn't matter that much, but I get it. I understand the concern at wide receiver 3. For me, I still think you're going to be dominant because, you're going to have 3 receiver sets, yes, but you also have Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and you have the ability to, run where my mindset was if you could run 12 and 13 personnel more, be all right. But there's some concerns there for me too. So if the Eagles don't feel comfortable with Covey, Campbell, Smith, and Wilson as the backups, who I think those 4 guys right there should be your backups to Smith and Brown, and then, you just have that wide receiver 3 by committee. And look, again, I would love to, be like the Texans and have, 742 wide receivers that are all starters. And if Howie Roseman, if there's a wide receiver that becomes available, go make that move, dude. But again, I'm talking about like a need, like, oh, we got to go out here and do this. Need to me is that safety position we're going to talk about. But again, wide receiver, I totally get people's concerns there. And look, man, if there's somebody that becomes available, I told you, after this preseason game this weekend, I'm going to try to work on a show where, guys that are still free agents, guys that maybe are trade candidates, wave candidates, whatever, that I think the Eagles should look at. Now, tight end, dude, this is a big one for me still. Look, so Calcaterra and Alberto missed practice. I don't know that they're going to play. Azoma didn't look too great. We talked about, I think he should be tight end 3. Somebody else needs to step it up as 2, but I don't even know if that's going to be it. Maybe Jenkins or Rogers can show something. I thought Fulch looked okay, but probably practice squad hopeful there. But Rogers, an intriguing prospect, did great his rookie year, but then injuries derailed him there with the Commanders. But, quarterback turned tight end that I think has shown he can do things at tight end. And look, man, he was just signed last week, so maybe we see a little more this week. And EJ Jenkins, horrible drop last week. Wanted to see more. Well, we'll see. Tight ends, we need to see something. If not, go trade for a tight end. I would be trading for a tight end. Then get yourself a receiver or see if somebody gets waived that you like. So keep that in mind, man. A lot of times they wait to see, some veteran guys get cut because some of these younger dudes are stepping up, or a really good young prospect that they liked in the draft, gets waived or something. Then you claim them. Anything could happen. So keep that in mind. Still got time, 23 days until week 1. And obviously you'd like to add these pieces before then, but hey, that's just the way it goes. Now, on the line, Becton and Steen. Can Steen try to win his job back? Because it looks to be Mekhi Becton. And you guys know my source works right there with them. And I was told that it's Becton's job to lose right now, and that Lane is actually a little more excited about how things are looking. Would be one of the largest, if not the largest, NFL line in history. So not against it, but Steen still hopeful for his future. Keegan looked great last week. Like to see more from him. Same with Dylan McMahon. kind of pushes out Nick Gates, Max Sharping, Matt Hennessy if someone like, a Dylan McMahon could step it up. Darian Kennard played all of last game, so I'd like to see him continue to step it up and prove. We talked about being that depth piece that can play tackle and guard. That'd be fantastic. Adam Donkwa, we talked about him before the draft, an undrafted fit for the Eagles. I think that this kid, you're hopeful that he lands on the practice squad, athletic. I like this kid a lot, and I think stout with him in the chamber would be great, but I'm not sure. We got a lot of questionable pieces, I think, at depth. If we figure it out, if Becton's that guy, you got guys like Steen and Keegan, obviously Kennard at depth. Brett Toth trying to be, that versatile piece that can play center, guard, tackle. He can do it all. So I'm going to be watching a lot of linemen, a lot of these guys. I'm going to be watching the whole damn team, all the backups. I'm going to be real with you. But these are the guys that we talked about. I wanted to pinpoint some of them. And on the defensive side of the ball, Ojomo, Tuipulotu, Gabe Hall, Booker. I want to see those interior guys continue to step it up. And I'm hopeful. I don't know which two out of these guys you keep. And PJ Mustafa's there as well. But, man, obviously Carter, Davis, and Williams, I feel confident in them. But, Booker's really trying to prove himself. I loved Gabe Hall. He was one of my undrafted fits before the draft. So, how I feel. Ojomo and Tuipulotu should make the team, but can these other guys show something? Now, we all remember how I felt about Jalix Hunt before the draft. I can't believe we got him. I think this kid is a stud. You heard the media saying, oh, nobody knows who this kid is. And it's like, I wish they would, study some of these prospects because I was excited about him. You guys that tune in, you saw the video. We all know Jalix Hunt. Oh, I can't wait. But look, he's in the wings right now, man. You got Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham as your backups. Can Nolan show that he's continued to develop, get more reps? You got Sweat, Huff, and that's what this person that was trying to argue with me earlier didn't understand. When you've got a rotation like that, that's how you break NFL records like we did a couple years ago running this style defense where, you had four players with 10 plus sacks. So, and they all had over 11. So that's awesome. I think we could do that again. A nice fresh rotation. And we talked about Patrick Johnson, being that versatile piece that can play edge, off ball, special teams ace. And then the true off-ball linebackers, Nakobe Dean, trying to win that job from Zach Bond. I'd like to see Bond, too. Just forgot to put him on the list. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Ben Van Sumeren. Continue to show you guys can be backups. Ben Van Sumeren, more of that depth piece because, Trotter and Dean or Trotter and Bond will be the backups with White and whoever is the other starter. But Van Sumeren, athletic freak. Love him on special teams. Let's see what he's got. Quinion Mitchell, continue to show your thing, man. I think this dude needs to be the starting corner with Rodgers and Slay. Do think that will happen, but want to see him continue to shine. Ringo, Ricks, Hall, Stevens, McPherson, a lot of cornerback competition, but some of these guys got to get cut, man. Only a couple are going to make it. So we got to see, Sean Stevens didn't even play. Can he step it up? Can McPherson show up his versatility? Maybe Hall can do the same. Maybe he could show some kick returning ability. Eli Ricks, can he show off his versatility inside, outside? Can he help out on special teams a little? Ringo continues to shine and try to be a starter, but he is showing he is part of the future here. And then at safety, man, this is my concern, but I like Tristan McCollum. I like Andre Sam, but I don't know how much I like if somebody goes down. Gardner Johnson's banged up as we speak. So we relying on Maddox or Bradbury to be that starter or McCollum or Sam. Sidney Brown's still on the PUP list. So this is where my worry comes in. Now, he signed Caden Stearns, but he's still banged up, so you got to let him get healthy and come along. So, and I know, Justin Simmons, I know, trust me. And we've talked about this. Maybe Buda Baker, maybe, so many options out there that you could trade for somebody. Maybe you want to sign somebody. Again, maybe somebody gets cut. So there's so many possibilities here that it ain't over till it's over. But I'm ready, man. And my pleasure, Brian. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hope you're having a great night. We just wanted to talk about this, stuff before the game. Obviously I'm working like a madman, but I always try to get this in. As I told you, it'd be about 15 minutes, but you know me. I want to show you the step chart before I go, though. I will do that, but I appreciate you always tuning in, man. So, yeah, man, he did. And yeah, it's crazy to see. Yeah, we're going to trade for a 32-year-old guy and pay him, or we're going to trade back for Reddick and pay him when we traded Reddick because we didn't want to pay him. Wild style of thinking out there. And that's what this guy was saying earlier, Jay from Facebook. And I was like, Dog, you're killing me, man. I just got work. I don't want to argue with people, especially when you're not making any sense, dude. You're talking about Ndamukong Suh and Linville Joseph and not getting sacks, and it's just like, God help me. Yes, I saw they were winning last when I got on, but I always pause that stuff and rewatch it. But if I can, I wasn't going to rewatch it. Let's be real with ourselves. They're just sitting there until I have to delete stuff, and that's just how it goes. Hello, everyone. Yo, appreciate you tuning in, man. Hope you're doing well. Look, you have any questions, anything? I'm trying to not be short with you, but trying to be quick as I can and get through this. I got some things to do, and then I got to get some damn sleep. I'll be real with you. But, and yep, that's what we talked about before the draft. You know, why I wanted to draft him was the fact that, he's got to develop it. Yes, yeah, a lot of young players usually have to. But he gets to learn from two of the best receivers in the game, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So, and yeah, tight end help would be great. And safety, that would be, man. Linebacker and edge rushers, in my opinion. We don't need a safety blanket ship. I'll be fine. No doubt, man. Yo, my dude Dylan, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you are doing well. And Cunningham, well, he does know our new linebackers coach, Bobby King. And yeah, we've talked about that. I think we should get an upgrade over Bradbury then, but all good. Sometimes better than nothing. And tight end, I don't know what you mean. What tight end were you talking about? Cunningham, the linebacker. Anyways, I would give a 5th round or 6th round for Reddick. Well, I wouldn't because, he wants to get paid. And we're trying to get younger at the position. So, yeah, that's why we traded him away and didn't pay him. But I get it, man. Trust me, I loved Reddick. But that's just part of the business. That's why I was warning you guys last year that it would be coming. And, why you would try to restructure Sweat, and then we drafted Nolan Smith already, and we're going to draft one this year. So that's part of the process. And I understand losing players sucks, but when you want to get paid big time and you're over 30, that just doesn't line up with Howie and this team's way of thinking, and that's how I feel too. So let's take a look at this updated depth chart now. Cooper DeJean taken off the NFI list, so we just have Sidney Brown on the PUP list, Castles and Clark there on the IR. So no major injuries. That's beautiful to see. Now let's take a look. Now, anybody that is in red is missing practice. If they have an IR in front of them, that means they're on IR. You get it. But anyone orange, they were limited, so we're hopeful. Now you see the key down there for, Kelly Green with the white ring. That means those are the rookies. Anyone in green is new to the team. So you can see how this roster's, filled out here. Got some players. We talk about the foundation, right? And we're building on that foundation. You lose Kelsey, so Juergens slides over. You've got Becton. You replaced DeAndre Swift with Saquon Barkley. And, Chris Watkins sucks. So you added Campbell. Covey is stepping it up. You drafted Wilson and Smith. So I think, improved. And obviously losing Kelsey sucks. But I think we'll get the offensive line figured out. If we need to trade for someone to do anything, they're going to do that, man. I think we're going to be all right there. I think tight end, to me, concerning that Calcaterra and Alberto are now hurt, I need to see more from them. I need to see Calcaterra proving he should be tight end too. So going to be intriguing there. Hopefully those injuries work themselves out, though. This offense, man, I'm excited about it regardless. I think Jalen Hurts is about to silence the haters pretty soon here. Now, this defense, look, people can sleep on it all they want, but I think Carter, Davis, and Williams are about to terrify souls. And then when you have Sweat and Huff, and you talk about a rotation, Vic Fangio will use a rotation of guys. And again, you want to add a Calais Campbell, I'm okay with it. You want to add some kind of guy that's going to be, the Brandon Graham of the interior D lineman. And look, Brandon Graham can dabble a little bit interior D line as well. So that's something we talk about in that Vic Fangio Eagles defense video, where you've got versatile pieces that can help out. And look, I guess I'm just, through the roof about our edge and interior D linemen. So it just confuses me that people are, we're desperate need. And I get it, man. The media doesn't really have clue of what position these guys even play half the time. So it's just a lot of, they said that was one of our number one needs this offseason. And I heard like a week ago. And I don't know, man. I think having all your safeties hurt to me is a little concerning. Now, when you're looking at linebackers, I feel pretty damn good there, getting all-pro Devin White, and looks to get back to that all-pro form. And if Dean can win that job, I'm very hopeful over Bond. Bond can be that depth piece that comes in and can help you as an off-ball linebacker, as an edge guy. And then you got Trotter Jr., Ben Van Summeren here. I'm excited about that room. And I think corners, you know how I feel about Isaiah Rodgers. Still can't believe we have Quinyon Mitchell. Cooper DeJean was limited, so he's a little banged up, but very excited for his future. Got a lot of competition there, man. And can't wait to see may the best man win. I think, obviously Ringo and DeJean are on this team, but can Ricks be that sixth guy? Do you keep seven, like Job, to be a special teams ace, or some of these guys like Hall, or maybe somebody like Sean Stevens or Nickerson that can play a little safety? I mean, what do you want with these injuries, is kind of what you have to ask yourself. So that safety, you see, we got two corners in Maddox and Bradbury converted to safety. They're behind Gardner Johnson and Blankenship. Now, Gardner Johnson banged up right now. And then you got Caden Stearns, who's banged up right now, and then Sidney Brown on the PUP list. So McCollum, and then rookie Andre Sam, and Kai Garner, who's also banged up right now. So don't exactly feel the greatest there at safety. And, we talked about this throughout the offseason. If they want to add someone, they will. But if they're healthy, I feel good. We just got a couple of guys there that don't exactly have a history of staying healthy. So that is my concern. And I think that the Eagles will address that if that is a concern of theirs. And I think it is. So just stay patient, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you'll get your wish. Justin Simmons will come along, or maybe they'll make a trade and blow us out of the water. And again, I'm working on a show that, I'll throw some names at you and throw some things at you that show the numbers and how we can make it work. Now, special teams, I love the fact that I feel good about special teams and don't even have to sit here and complain, oh my God, we got no depth. Now, you guys all know I've been a big Cubby supporter, got a lot of hate for that last year, but yeah, he was like the number one punt returner last year. So I think people are seeing it. This kid's talented, and if he continues to improve as a receiver, that's great. But having Rodgers, Shipley, Smith, Campbell, Gainwell, DeJean, Hall, Ross, all these guys competing and even more, that's awesome. And your specialists, I'm so excited to have Elliott, Lovato here, feel comfortable with all of these guys. Didn't feel comfortable with Elliott missing all those damn kicks last week, but hey, get that stuff out now in preseason, then we're good to go. But there you see the updated depth chart with all of the injuries and everything going on there. And if you have any final thoughts, throw them my way, but I do have to get rolling here. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to try to sleep. As you can see, I'm like literally running on fumes here. I don't even know how I'm doing this here, but I love you all. It's all pure adrenaline here, but let's rock and roll. And Tiffany, been warning them since over last year before we even drafted Nolan Smith. But hey, what do I know? Now wait for 21 to come back in this defense. Yeah, no doubt, man. And we talk about that. The injuries just concern me. And once Brown's back, we'll be excited, man. Go Birds, Luffy, my man. And look, CJ Gardner-Johnson's going to be a big help to all those guys. He's a good vocal leader, and I'm all about it. Nina, appreciate you tuning in. Sorry that I'm just rolling out one over my top 40 players to watch. Took a look at that depth chart there that I put together with all the injuries and everything in there. But I appreciate you taking the time. Hope you are doing well. I've been giving you some shout-outs. Gave your mom a shout-out. Very happy birthday. Hope you guys had a great time. Got that preseason win for you. Let's go. But I hope you guys are all having a great week. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to get home from work. Going to try my best to put it together as fast as I can, get a pregame show going. We'll talk about my updated projected 53, all that stuff. We'll get ready for this damn game. We'll recap the players to watch, all that stuff. I want to hear from you guys. You guys got score predictions, players you're watching, positions you're watching, who starters, whatever it may be. I'd love to hear from you guys. So sorry this sicko season. I've been so busy, man. It has been nuts. Got done today, and my boss was like, hey, would you run some leads? And I can't even talk. And I was like, of course. And met these great people. I was under in a crawl space, dude, and oh my God, I had to fight Spider-Man. There was like a hole in their deck. I had to go down in it and then like unscrew this like cage they had over the opening. And dude, as soon as I got in, I was in spider webs everywhere. There's just spiders everywhere. And they're like, oh, you might not be. You're like, you must not care about that stuff. And I was just like, yeah, this is great. I'm like, dude, get these effing spiders off me. And like, I work in the basement, but it's still like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that stuff. But I love to see you guys sharing the love. Love to see you guys tuning in here. If you guys have any thoughts after this and, want to comment after the video or reach out, whatever it may be, always here for you guys. And if I ever miss it, just remind me or reach out again because I'm a high plains drifter and you got to bear with me. But of course, seriously, you guys are family to me. And, you've been nothing but supportive from day one when I found you. And even through the fire when they took down my Twitter account, you were right there to find my new account and be supportive, and you're awesome. I really can't thank you enough. You guys are truly family. I love each and every one of you sickos. I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic week. We got preseason football. Anything Eagles is good to me. So I'm pumped up to watch all of those players we talked about and everything else under the sun. Let's stay healthy. Let's go get that W. If not, remember, it's a glorified practice. You don't have to worry about the wins, losses, anything like that. Let's go in, stay healthy, figure out who wants to be part of this Super Bowl winning team. That's all I've got for you tonight. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always share this stuff, subscribe to the channel. All of it really, really does help, and I can't thank you enough for doing that stuff. Your support means the world. If you need anything, it doesn't have to be about the Eagles. Reach out. Seriously, I mean it. We could all use a friend. Had some great talks with a bunch of people today. Homeowners, some co-workers, my boss. I mean, everybody, man. It was a good day, and I just want you to know I love each and every one of you. If you're ever going through it, just need a friend, dude. It helps. And I used to never talk about anything. Don't do that to yourself. Reach out. You got a friend right here. Another sicko in the waiting. Yo, I love you guys, though. Have yourselves a great rest of your night. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!